Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats.
Welcome. We're delighted. Here it is, the very beginning of January still, really, at the beginning of the calendar year, and yet we're telling you about next year already. And plans have been in the works for quite a long time. Many of you were here a year ago when we introduced you to Gianandrea Noseda, a big celebration at that time, and another big celebration this morning. Today, it's 2 o'clock this afternoon. As many of you know, I believe that we have to always reinforce the performing part of the performing arts, and no event is really, truly an important event at a performing arts center without some performance. So we are starting with music, and I think we have some very special music for you today. So I'd like to introduce you to two individuals who are part of the Domingo K. Fritz Young Artists program that we are so proud of here at the Kennedy Center, soprano Leah Hawkins and mezzo-soprano Darrell Friedman, and they are going to sing something that maybe I should tell you about, maybe I should ask you to guess about afterwards. They're going to sing, and then I'll test you. You can tell me if you recognize it. Leah and Darrell. And no, you can't answer.
Questa amore che ti retta, nella tomba spegnerò.
So, yes, indeed, Aida is going to be presented by the Washington National Opera. And thank you so much to Leah and Darrell for that little portion of the duet of Aida and Amneris. I'd like to have a shout out for Robert Ainsley, who's our new director of the Domingo K. Fritz Young Artist Program, who is also doubling on the piano. So thank you, Robert. So for our veteran media, they're wondering why they only see the classical media here today. We're doing things just a little bit different. You know, leave it to Deborah Rutter to continue to stir things up a little bit. But the vastness of the programming here at the Kennedy Center was such that if we announce it all at once, you cannot possibly give the true dedication to each of the art forms the way we would like to. And by other standards, in fact, to have the whole WNO season, the whole Fortas Chamber Music season, the whole National Symphony Orchestra season, all in one press conference is already too much. But we're celebrating the riches and we're celebrating the classical season here today. And the really wonderful piece about this is that you can go online right this minute and buy tickets for these series for next year. And that's new for us, and we're really thrilled about that. So I'd like to say thank you to my team for making that possible. What's also really great is that I can let each of the artistic directors of the three art forms, three artistic institutions speak for themselves here. And in just a moment, I will bring them to the stage. Before I do so, I'd just like to do a little bit of welcoming to everybody who's here. We have members of the National Symphony Orchestra. We have members of the board of the National Symphony Orchestra. We have members of the board of the WNO, also of Fortas. I have the interim executive director of the National Symphony Orchestra. I'd like to introduce Elizabeth Warschauer. And Jeannie Ruish, who is the chair of the board of the National Symphony Orchestra. Thank you very much. I'd also like to acknowledge our colleagues and close friends from the Washington Performing Arts, of which there are a slew of you, and I'm not seeing you well in the light here, but I do want to say thank you, Jenny Billfield in particular, President and CEO of the WPA, for all of the work that we do together here. So before we move to the details of each of these important seasons, I just wanted to share a few pieces of important programming that don't fit into a particular category but are appropriate for us to have today. As many of you have noticed, we've started celebrating important times of the year, and in just a couple of weeks we will have our second annual Lunar New Year celebration here at the Kennedy Center. And in 2018, we're thrilled to welcome guest composer and conductor Tan Dun, who will conduct the China National Symphony in a multimedia program. Some interesting traditional orchestral repertoire, but presented in an unusual way, together with works of his own. So we have Stravinsky's Fireworks, accompanied by projections, Firebird featuring imagery from the National Shadow Puppet Theater, of China, and music both of his and other composers. We're also thrilled to present in collaboration with WPA the Orchestra dell'Accademia. I have all these Italians in the room, and now I have to say something in Italian. The Santa Cecilia Orchestra, you can correct me later, with its principal conductor Antonio Papano, and a really exciting guest artist. A couple of the cellists and pianists of the orchestra have been encouraging me. Yes, Martha Argerich will come to the Kennedy Center with a march. So we're thrilled about that. I'll practice on the pronunciation, sir. I'm sorry. And then our dear friend, Lang Lang, will come back for a solo recital in February of 2018 as well. Coming up in just 2 months will be our first Shift Festival, which we produce with WPA. And in 2018, we will have our second festival. We've already announced this, but I just wanted to make sure we weren't leaving out any classical programming. And of course, the orchestras participating in the Shift Festival next year will be Fort Worth, Albany, Indianapolis Symphonies, as well as the National Symphony Orchestra in a one-night-only performance led by our music director, Gianandrea Noseda, and featuring the great Russian baritone Dmitry Khvorostovsky. And yes, we believe he will absolutely be here. We're thrilled. So, moving on now to the series, I'd like to now welcome Yossi Kalichstein, one of the great musicians of our era and one of the pianists who we celebrate and love so dearly here at the Kennedy Center. And he's going to tell you about the Fortas Chamber Music Series.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. And it's very exciting, of course, to announce a new season. It has doubly and triply exciting. First of all, to be the first one that Maestro Noseda is in. Welcome. And as you well know, the Terrace Theater is going to be renovated. It's being renovated, and we're going to reopen it next season. So this is extremely, extremely thrilling. Having been at the very first opening of the first Terrace Theater in 1979 with my trio, it's doubly exciting for me. And it's an incredible space, warm, welcoming, perfect for chamber music, playing and listening. When I thought of how to open that season, to sort of describe chamber music and celebrate chamber music, I was thinking of Claude Debussy, who, by the way, 2018 will be 100 years to his death, sorry. And he had just before he died, he had this grand idea of celebrating chamber music. And he had a great plan of 6 sonatas, he called them, that were going to show the variety of chamber music. 2 of them were for 2 instruments, violin, piano, cello and piano. 1 was for a trio of instruments with viola, harp, and viola, harp, and what? My goodness, I forgot. Thank you. And then the 3 that he didn't write, and he didn't make it because he died, were for very strange combination of instruments. The last one was going to be for 13 different instruments. And it occurred to me that he tried to make a point that chamber music can be anything, that musicians get together and have each their own voice and yet look for the ensemble together. So this program is going to start with a duet, Lisa of the NSO with me, playing some Dvorak, and then a piano quartet with 3 of the Dover string quartets, an incredible newish, I say newish because they're already very established, string quartet and myself, and then 2 incredible pieces that sort of sum up the 19th century. One heralding the Romantic movement, which will end the program, the Mendelssohn Octet with the Dover and the Emersons, and the one just before it, Schoenberg's Verklärte Nacht, which is a string sextet, again with members of the Dover of the Emerson, and that's a piece that kind of bookends the Romantic movement. It's a very last masterpiece, really, that you can still call romantic. So I thought that would be a great way to celebrate the season. You know, when you plan a season, you can do two things. You can sort of have a theme, which kind of freezes you and blocks you, or you can let the season, just like a program or like a living organism, develop its own raison d'être. And pretty soon, themes emerge from this animal that's breathing and living. And I just wanted to touch on a few of the things that seem to unify the program of the whole season. One of them is, as we have done in the past, is celebrating the new. The Fortas we are very tremendously proud of all the commissions we have been involved with, and we have a great one next season of Caroline Shaw, who's writing a piece for Don Upshaw and the Saw Percussion Ensemble, which is coupled with an incredibly touching cycle by George Crumb of a piece that's based on Civil War songs. Very touching, very affecting. And we forget George Crumb is one of our giants, still alive. And while we always love to celebrate the new, it's nice to be reminded of the greats that were new, but no longer, but still a new voice, even though they're not young. And speaking of young, there are a few wonderful younger groups and people who are coming to play for us. The Sphinx organization is helping us celebrate the opening week. Lila Yosefovich, who is an incredible star. I still remember playing with her. She was almost a mere baby and was astounded by her then. And the Kalidor String Quartet, who's sort of making a name for themselves very, very fast. And we are proud to recognize them at the very beginning. Another sort of, I don't want to call it theme, but an idea that seemed to emerge has to do with the fact that chamber music should not and is not limited or to specialization. So we have people who, for instance, Lila, who's coming to play with the National Symphony, is playing for us a recital. Isabel Leonard, who's coming to sing Rossini, is singing for us a recital. Christoph Eschenbach, who is departing, that's actually is going to be his last concert here at the Kennedy Center, not as a conductor, as a pianist. And he was a great pianist, is a great pianist. Music of Brahms and Schumann with members of the National Symphony. So the idea that you specialize is really antithetical to music and to art. It's interesting, even Cantus, who's coming to sing, this great a cappella choir, male choir from Minnesota, who's coming to sing a Christmas program. Some of the composers that they are going to perform are people who are known not for their songs, but for their symphonies. Vaughan Williams, William Walton, Gustav Holst. So people should do and should have many hats, and that's very fascinating to watch and hear. Another idea that I seem to see in the program that it just happened, but it's spring celebration of the Baroque. And we have two wonderful concerts, one by Stephen Isserlis with a variety of Baroque composers, including Bach, of course, and one program by the Violon du Roi from Canada that's dedicated to Bach. So, on the whole, I just wanted to leave with a personal note, and that has to do with my trio's concert, which is all Beethoven. I say it's personal because in 2001, September 2001, we were performing the Beethoven piano trio cycle, which is over 3 concerts, and they were scheduled for September 10th, 11th, and 12th. and we played the concerts on the 10th very happily, and we came back downstairs. I still remember the Watergate lobby for rehearsal and watching television. Of course, the Kennedy Center was closed that day, but the next day it reopened, and we played a program that ended, which was scheduled and ended with the Archduke Trio, and as an encore to kind of make sure that the people of the night before did not miss what they should have heard on September 11th. We played the Ghost Trio. So this reopening season, we are bringing back both the Ghost and the Archduke. Thank you.
Review lesson 11. Once one dismisses the rest of all possible worlds, one finds that this is the best of all possible worlds. Once one dismisses the rest of all possible worlds. Pray classify pigeons and camels. Pigeons can fly. There is a reason for anything under the sun. There is a season for everything under the sun. Objection! What about snakes? Snakes! 'Twas snake that tempted Mother Eve. Because of snake we now believe that though depraved we can be saved from hellfire and damnation. Because of snake's concession. If snake had not seduced our lot and primed us for salvation, Jehovah could not pardon all the sins that we call cardinal, involving bed and bottle. Now on to Aristotle. Mankind is one, all men are brothers. It's understood in this best of all possible worlds. All's for the good in this best of all possible worlds. Jackson, what about war? War. Though war may seem a bloody curse, it is a blessing in reverse. When cannon roar, both rich and poor by danger are united. Till every wrong is righted. Philosophers make evident the point that I have cited. 'Tis war makes equal, as it were, the noble and the commoner. Thus war improves relations. Now on to conjugations. Amo, amas, amat, amamus. Proving that this is the best of all possible worlds. Holy not people's son, you indeed. Amas, amat, amamus. Indeed, holy not people's son, in this best of all possible worlds.
Previews galore. So, yes, Candide will be on the season next year, also from the WNO. And I just want to ask you to say thank you to soprano Ariana Weir, mezzo Darrell Friedman, tenor Frederick Ballantyne, they're still having fun back there, baritone Michael Adams, and bass Timothy Bruno, and of course our accompanist who's jumping on and off the stage, Robert Ainsley. So please join me in thank you. And that is the opening of Candide, the best of all possible worlds, in case you couldn't tell. We're really thrilled. And yes, this is a little bit of a tidbit, and we'll tell you a little bit more over the course of the next months when we share with you all the details of our Leonard Bernstein Festival. We here in Washington were approached by the Leonard Bernstein Foundation to really think about the Bernstein relationship that we can really truly host. And across the city, in all art forms, we will be celebrating Leonard Bernstein at 100. And so the WNO, you'll hear about it, but we have some from Fortas, we have some from the WNO, and we have some from the National Symphony, just to tell you a little bit about today. I want to now introduce you to the artistic director of the Washington National Opera. Cheska is one of the most extraordinary thinkers, stage directors, and believers in performance to share the story of our society and our humanity, whether it is an extraordinary ring cycle that we enjoyed earlier last season, whether it was Appomattox or the joy and glitter of Marriage of Figaro and Daughter of the Regiment, we have something for everybody here at the WNO. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce to you to Francesca Zambello.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. A pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Deborah. And it has been an extraordinary year for WNO. We're very proud of the ring cycle, plus the new works of Philip Glass and bringing Kurt Weill here. And this season, we have so much still to look forward to with Jake Hege's Dead Man Walking and with Terence Blanchard's Champion in collaboration with the jazz here. I do want to say that it is really a great thing to be here with our classical music colleagues. Of course, opera, we straddle everything in this building, but the core of what we do is music. And to be here and to welcome you, Gianandrea, who we have known each other off and on for many years, and to hear Yossi talking and the knowledge that you bring to have opera so firmly in the Kennedy Center firmament and not be a company outside, but a company under the wing, the guiding wing of the Kennedy Center is really a great honor. And so, Deborah, thank you for putting us all together today. I think that we all are proud to stand together and represent what is best about the arts and music here and now in this building, in this city. I want to acknowledge my dear colleague Rob Ainsley and our Domingo K. Fritz Young Artist Program. It has been one of the main tenets of my work here to build up that program and enlarge it. And for those of you who are familiar with the company, you will see these young artists in many of our productions, as well as now really making bigger careers around the world. And we do our best to bring them back because I believe they're yours as well. They're our home team, but also our collective home team. Yossi said something really meaningful to me, which is so true. You can't pick a theme for a season. They emerge from the works because we are blessed to work with the great works of humanity. And I often find that a theme rises to the top, and that is certainly the case of next season for all of us at WNO. It is a theme that really asks questions of morality. All of the operas next season point to different ways of approaching issues of morality and how we as humans deal with big issues, political questions, personal questions. You have had a little bit of a taste about what we're offering, but let me just go over the season. I know it's in your press packets, so I won't drone on about cast members, although I will say we have some amazing voices next year. I won't tell you who's singing the third Norn. It's all in there, or the celestial voice, whatever. But we are opening the season with Aida, Verdi's masterpiece. This is certainly a great opening. I wanted to return to the classics this season, get a lot of Italian opera on the stage. because we have had a lot of German, a lot of contemporary, and I felt it's a time to return to the great voices, the great songs, and really these works. AIDA is a collaboration with several other companies, and it features designs of urban artist Retna, who is an amazing, just Google him, okay? He uses calligraphy and hieroglyphics to create a visual style that was one that I felt gave a nod to the past, to everybody who wanted something perhaps more traditional. I don't love that word, but it's out there. Traditional, but also a nod to the future. We have two casts. All of them are powerhouse artists, many people debuting in their roles, which I think is an important thing that we as a company can offer. Our wonderful opera house of just over 2,000 seats is a great, warm, inviting vocal environment that will be conducted by American conductor Michael Christie. Then we are happy to return to the Eisenhower Theater for the Baroque opera, Handel's opera Alcina. WNO has not presented a lot of Baroque works, and I'm thrilled to be doing this masterpiece about a sorceress who turns all her loves into stone. I know you've wanted to do that some days. Anyway, they get out of it they get out of it by the end, but we have the return of Angela Mead, who was last here as Norma, and she'll be joined by Ying Fang and Elizabeth Deschamps, all great, great voices singing now, all debuting in the roles. And I'm proud to welcome Jane Glover, one of the most important experts of the Baroque repertory, here on the stage in a stylish production by Anne Bogart. And so we'll be back to the Eisenhower for this intimate event. In the holidays, yay, we get to go back to a holiday opera. Something so near and dear to me is about creating new audiences, getting families in the theater, getting kids there in the audience and on stage. So we get to go back to the Terrace Theater. Yossi's going to work it out for us first, and then we're going to go in there and tromp up and down the aisles with The Little Prince. This heartwarming piece by Rachel Portman, Oscar award-winning composer, will feature all of our young artists in these roles. It's a wonderful way to bring family or new people to the opera. It also features our youth chorus of 24 kids who we have been developing over the last several years, and they are just bursting out to come back and do it. We will continue our commitment to American works in the winter with another American opera festival, these mini pieces like we did just last weekend, a 1-hour opera and 3 20-minute operas. It's a great way, again, another great way. You don't like opera, you tell me, come to this. It's over in an hour, and then you'll want to come back. This features emerging composers and librettists. Next year, it will be a 1-hour opera by Mizzy Mazzoli called Proving Up. It takes place on the American prairie at a time when people had to prove up, if they got a land grant, how to keep their 160 acres. It's a moving tale full of incredible pathos, an original story by Royce Vavrick, the librettist. And again, that will feature many of our young artists. The 3 20-minute operas, I don't even know who's writing them yet because we're about to pick them. That's one of the great things about that program. And then we will also have a recital by John Holliday, who is the countertenor and the winner of the Marian Anderson Award at that part of the season. And then we continue into the spring operas. Don Carlo, Verdi's another great work. We will be doing the Italian 4-act version led by our music director, Philippe Auguin. That will be performed in March, and it brings back Don Carlo after many years' absence to our stage. It features Leah Crocetto and Isakaya Savage, tenor, in the 2 leading roles of Elizabeth de Valois and Don Carlo. I am thrilled to have that cast. Also includes Jamie Barton, Eric Owens, Morris Robinson, people we love on our stage, and major, major international artists now they have become. And then we continue with a little levity with The Barber of Seville. That will feature Isabel Leonard. After she finishes doing that recital, she'll be over there doing Rosina with us. And the debut of a major Russian artist, Alexei Milikovsky in the title role of the barber. And then the season closes, as Deborah said, with a real salute to the 100th anniversary of Leonard Bernstein's Candide. Is it an opera? Is it a musical? Is it an operetta? I don't know. It's a joyous experience and one that leads us through paths of discovery. It's its own odyssey, its own journey. And that will feature Alex Schrader and Catherine Lewick is Cunegonde and Candide, and will be conducted by Nicole Paymont. So I am thrilled, really, that the whole season honors what we have been trying to do, that which is classic, contemporary, and American. Our season features great diversity in casting. There are many women leading the show up there, whether they are conducting or directing, and I am proud of that, to have that on our stage here as the Washington National Opera. And then one of the most exciting things is to welcome a new collaborator to the Kennedy Center. I am honored to have you here, Gianandrea, who is now the 7th music director of the National Symphony Orchestra. We're going to have a little video thing, and then he's going to come up here and talk. But I do want to express my incredible gratitude and welcoming to you. Benvenuto.
Passion is something connected to love. Love in life changes a little bit during the years. Passion doesn't change. The passion is something always potentially growing in your mind and your heart. But also, we have to be careful. We have to take care of the passion. If you don't feed it, the passion will die. Exactly like love. Passion always makes you feel you have something inside unbearably hot and fiery you want to express. The role of the conductor is just to motivate, to remind people that particular day when you decided to become a musician, to just take the music as your partner for all your life. What I can offer is just my impression, my life together with the score. What I know for sure is the fact when I go on the podium, I'm completely spiritually naked. I am not ashamed about that.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Wow. Thank you, Francesca, Yossi, Deborah. It's thrilling to be part of this musical world in the Kennedy Center, to be surrounded by colleagues like you. And it's nice to present the new season, my first season as music director of the National Symphony Orchestra. I feel the pride and the responsibility to do that, because I think a symphonic institution, important orchestra in the 21st century, should present the widest possible repertoire of music to our society, to all the people, to the widest possible people. And it's just fantastic to be here in Washington, D.C., in this center, which is a memorial. John Fitzgerald Kennedy Performing Art Center. So the performing art, the live performance, is the core business of this place. And the symphonic music is so close to my life, but also the opera is so close to my life. And I have to tell you a small secret. I started when I was a pianist in my previous life. I played tons of chamber music, so I was very much at ease in this in your presentation. Also because I will present one of the highlights, not highlights, I have to say, I went through all the program of the next season and everything looks an highlight for me because I will probably subscribe for any concert if I have to make a decision myself, just to go in the audience to attend the concerts calling for another conductor to substitute me and just to listen to the programs. There is one of the pieces, the concerts I'm very much keen of, is the Verdi Requiem. Also because we use 3 of the soloists they will sing in the Don Carlo. It is one of the first example how, in a way, to cooperate with the opera. I think it's important when you have great singers like Leah and Eric. Of course, the Mezzo-Soprano was not there, so I invited the Italian Mezzo-Soprano, and I'm sure you will enjoy her. I think Verdi Requiem, why is important? Because I think Verdi is an Italian hero. No, he's a worldwide hero. When I think about my country, it's fascinating how I feel connected with my historical parents, which are called Leonardo, Michelangelo, Dante, Verdi. So even if we went through time of struggle, you have always to go back to the memory. Oh, who were my parents? And Verdi is incredible. If you can just think about that, Verdi composed 27 operas, Aida, Don Carlos, next season here. But what he considered his best opera was The House for Retired Musicians. He just subventioned with his money because he thought, oh, I'm aging, I'm old, of course I will have the money to look after myself. But what about the players in the orchestra, the old singers? Maybe they don't have family. So I thought to create this house. It's in Milano, this house, in Largo Buonarroti, which is a square. And when I went there a couple of times to visit, it's incredible because a musician, an artist, doesn't stop to be an artist. Even if they are old, they have always this light in the eyes. And they communicate this fire to everybody. To me, I was much younger. When I went there the first time, it's fascinating. There is a bit of craziness, of course, because the artists are a little bit like that. But also there is this enthusiasm for life. I'm sure it's incredible how music can just stimulate any emotion until last minute of our life. But there are so many examples. There is a program connected with Bach, where Bach didn't compose any note about that. Of course, he composed the Kunstfuge, the Art of the Fugue, but the orchestration is made by Luciano Berio. It's the last orchestral piece he composed. And as you know, Bach didn't say what kind of instruments he wanted to play this music. It's a sort of hypothetical music, theoretical music, but it's so incredibly written. And the last contrapunto 19, is unfinished. It's a big fugue with the 3 subjects, and the last subject is on the name of Bach, B flat, A, C, H. Is a sort of signature, but when he just introduced this subject, he stopped composing. And Berio orchestrates this in a very intriguing way, and when it arrives to the last note Bach composed, just prolong that note forever, to the eternity. It becomes a cluster. The cluster is a combination of all the sounds, of the 12 sounds, fading away, like Bach would continue to tell us how he's finishing this contrapunto somewhere else. And also there is some Brahms, there is some I'm very attached by the fact we present a different variety of music. I already told that, and just how to put together things. What I strongly believe is what we are missing today is the sense of wonder, the curiosity. We take too many things for granted. We take for granted that the sun rises every day. Look today, it doesn't rise because it's just flooded raining. So we don't have to take for granted. Maybe, now the forecast they don't say that, but maybe tonight just will come out a ray of sun. It would be like a miracle. We have to be able to get it, to be surprised, to enjoy. How we take for granted someone telling you thank you. It's not everybody has to tell you thank you. We take like that. No, just let's value the things. No? Let's not lose this sense of curiosity. And in terms to do that, all the programs with the artists of the NSO, National Symphony Orchestra, are a little bit conceived like that. Just try to stimulate our curiosity. My curiosity, the curiosity of the artists of the orchestra, and hopefully the curiosity of the audience. How to tell stories through the music. How to get a story told within a concert, like a chapter of a long novel. But the chapter itself is concluded, tells a complete story. But if you come to the third chapter, you will find some connection. It's not necessary. You can decide not to come, but if you come, you will develop the idea. And there are so many intriguing stories we can tell through the music. I will present John Adams' Gospel of Another Mary, the Maddalena. It's a fantastic piece that calls for orchestra, chorus, soloist, big piece, vocal piece. We try to put together music from Wilhelm Friedman Bach, which is one of the sons of Johann Sebastian. Actually was the son that Johann Sebastian thought was the most talented. He didn't finish very well because he was too much in love with alcoholic stuff. But besides that, he left not a big output, but we tried to present something intriguing. He was incredibly gifted, that guy. And we arrive also to present, as I tell you, John Adams, or some music of the 20th centuries, written by Dalla Piccola, or some Italian, or Stravinsky. We have also Dalla Piccola probably sounds a little bit unfamiliar to you. Dalla Piccola is one of our heroes in the 20th century. You know, we had Petrassi, we had Dalla Piccola, and of course coming over in the 60s, Maderna, Berio. Great composers. Why they have been a little bit neglected? For many reasons. We had Casella, Alfredo Casella, many. The first reason is why they didn't compose only operas. If I ask you, what are Italian composers? Oh, opera composers, of course, yes, opera composers. Verdi, Puccini, Rossini, Donizetti. But also we have these composers who composed fantastic music, and I wanted to share my passion. We were talking about passion. Oh, by the way, it has been very well done. I don't know how, to whom I have to say thank you. It's just incredible. Yeah, they made me look very, yeah. So, yeah. And last but not least, I'm so proud. I will invite everybody of you to join me in the orchestra, the National Symphony Orchestra, to join the Kennedy Center with chamber music, with the opera. Come and you will experience many things, and you will never regret having decided to leave home and to come to attend a performance here. I'm so thrilled because my first 2 concerts in July will be one in Wolf Trap. I will conduct Carmina Burana. And the next day, on the 29th, in the mall, I will conduct a concert for all the population in Washington, D.C. I will probably be there, not without probably, I will be there, just 1 hour and a half before the concert will start, just to, not to teach, to involve people there to sing along with the choir we will have on stage. I will not ask you to sing Moses und Aaron by Schoenberg, something much easier. Just to have to give the impression the arts, music and arts in general are not disconnected to our nowadays life. And that is what I strongly believe, and I strongly is not the right word, I just warmly invite you to come join us, because we need the audience, and the audience, don't forget, is active part of any performance. It's not just behind my back or just in the orchestra. And no, your energy is so palpable. We can feel it on stage when you are there. And you are doing that. You should really think this place as your place, as I feel, having arrived very recently, my place. So enjoy the next season. You will feel yourself very welcome anytime you come to this Kennedy Center.
I think you have to agree that it's much more interesting to hear from them about their seasons and how they've put it together than from me. It is a joy to have each of the three of you here. Thank you so much. It is truly the miracle of the Kennedy Center that in the course of 7 days we can have glorious chamber music, the American Opera Festival, and the NSO and the NSO with our new music director around the world through Medici TV. So if you haven't logged on, go to Medici TV and see the concert last week. Thank you all for being here. It is about the storytelling, so thank you for using those words. And each of the three brochures have those stories directly from the artistic director. The story of each opera, how it was put together, the voice of Cheska throughout that brochure. Yossi has Yossi notes associated with every single program, which I loved reading. And then this year, for the first time, our team is putting together the Gianandrea guide to the season. And it is absolutely fantastic, and you will hear his story for every single one of the programs. It's really a beautiful way to tell the stories, and that's what we here at the Kennedy Center are all about, telling stories of who we are as individuals, as who we are as a collective humanity. Thank you for being here, and thank you for all of your support. Good evening.